our next speaker, right? Our next speaker is Benedict Cheong. And Ben is a philanthropist, and he's going to share about basically what he does. And also, very important, he has got lots of nice pictures about going vegetarian, right? So over to you, Ben.
Hi everybody. Okay, my name is Ben Cheong. I'm the founder of Magical Light Foundation. Magical Light Foundation has been actively helping the poor in the region. So my priority was to bring education to the poor. And I'll show you a video of some of my work. Okay, this is helping the hill tribes. My foundation has no religious inclination or any political. We are apolitical and non-religious. We help everybody, regardless of background. So over my 10 years, we have actually organized many charity missions to more than 10 countries in the region. These are some of them in the slums. Of course, I've been invited to give talks on to mentor some of the university students in Singapore. This is in Bangladesh. So basically what we do is actually we build schools. We raise funds in Singapore to build schools, to give the poor a chance to an education. And these are the medical care project. Let me stop here. Go back. Let me talk about this gentleman for a few minutes. Okay, his name is Ravi Rai. He's the first Singaporean to receive the Philanthropist Award. He gave up his life in Singapore, his comfort zone, and he went to India to start up children's home for the slum children. And this project is actually we're raising $500,000. This was my first check. I raised funds in Singapore to help him to build a school for the slum children. And for this school we are building, we are trying to get as many children from the slum to school. But this is not a normal school. It's not a school where you go through your primary school, your secondary school, and your high school. It's actually a vocational school. Because we understand from the ground that many of these children do not want to go to school. The parents refuse to let them go to school. The reason is because they know that even with education, being from the lower caste, being from the slum, they'll go nowhere. They cannot get a decent job. And they do not have enough money to bribe the way to get a good job. So that's why we decided that the best is for them to learn a skill. And that's why we are building this school, a vocational school that can eventually, now it's still under construction, eventually it can hold up to 500 kids. And we have actually interviewed the parents of these children. And many of these parents refused to let us have the kids. So in the end, we decided to approach family that 4 or 5 children. And we promised them to help just one of the kids, or ask them to release one of the kids to us. We'll feed the kid, we'll school the kid, we'll clothe the kid, we'll help them grow over a period of time, give them education, and they can go back to the family eventually after they finish education. So this is a very interesting project in India. I have built over 80 schools in over 10 countries. But India, this is the only one, and this is the one that I'm very proud of. So that's me. So along the way, we have raised more funds for him. This is in Bangladesh. This the blue part you saw behind is actually, okay, this is the blue part is a container. It's actually a school we built. Because again, these are the slum. This is actually on a railway track. We are not allowed to build a proper school. So we got a few containers and we converted containers to the school for them. This is during Lombok earthquake not long ago. This is again in India with the kids that I'm helping. This is in Bangladesh. This is also an earthquake. So what I believe in is actually to empower the children to build a life for themselves instead of giving them, okay, let me stop here for a while. Okay, I think a lot of you will feel very sad to see this photograph. This boy has cancer, but it was only discovered when he was at this stage. I happened to be in Myanmar 5 years ago when I received a message on my Facebook. Sir, can you help this boy? He's from ethnic tribe. He happened to be in this hospital in Mandalay. I was actually 50 km away from Mandalay at that stage. And I traveled to Mandalay with my group of volunteers. We went to meet up the boy and the family. And we realized that actually he was just admitted. Because they're from the ethnic tribe, they're from very rural area, they don't understand. And they feel that they do not have money to go to the hospital. Because they're from ethnic tribe, they're not Burmese. And because of that, they feel that they are not being given a fair treatment, which all these are just not true. Medical treatment in Myanmar actually is, for the Burmese, is almost free. But of course, they need some money to travel to the hospital, stay in the hospital, to seek treatment for the family. Because once a kid, if it's any condition, they go to hospital, the whole village follow. The parents, the grandparents, the children, because they're very fearful what's going to happen. They want to be with the child that is sick, and sometimes even the village head will follow. So this is one of the cases that was too late. Yes, this is the hospital. This is another case that actually I helped. So my foundation do not do much for cancer patients, but along the way, many cancer patients have approached us to help. So I raised funds in Singapore to support them to seek medical treatment. The last one we did was actually Cambodia. We actually raised funds in Singapore to send a few, 3 kids from Cambodia with cancer to Australia, because we actually managed to connect to some doctors in Australia to offer free treatment. We managed to arrange accommodation on well-wisher that give us free accommodation to accommodate the kids. So all we need is to raise funds to buy the air ticket, and of course our living expenses. But in the end, I think even the air ticket was sponsored, because we announced on the news in Cambodia that we are helping this group of children to seek treatment. We arranged a lot of healthcare projects in the region. This is a rice distribution. This is the school building project. I want to make my talk very short because I know that the most important reason why you are here today is to understand more about cancer. So I will leave more to the speaker who are talking about cancer. So I just run through my video and show you some of the work I've been doing in the region. 80 schools is not a small number. 80 schools is not a small number. Just imagine each school has 100 kids. How many kids actually we help to put to school every year? It's in tens of thousands. And I've been doing it for the last 10 years. In fact, last 12 years. So over the years, hundreds of thousands of kids actually have got a chance to education, to the key to change their life. This one are the what is happening now in Singapore, the COVID situation. For the COVID situation, we actually have raised a lot of funds in this year, since February up to now, to help not only in Singapore, but in the neighboring region where they seek my help. So for the Singapore one, we raised $67,000, I can't remember the figure, to buy up masks in March. That is a period where nobody can find masks. The masks are selling at $50 a box in the market. But through my connection, we managed to get it at a decent price. It's definitely not cheap, definitely very expensive. But I have the courage to buy it up. And everybody was telling me, why do you pay so much for a mask, a box of masks of $30 or so, when you can, the original price is much cheaper? I say it's about saving life. Because nobody can find masks, and the people that seek my help asked me to help them with masks. So the masks we actually donated to a lot of organizations in Singapore, the free hospitals, all the free hospitals in Singapore, all the clinics in Singapore, we have donated masks to them. And towards the end, these are the migrant workers dorm. Towards the end of last 2 months, we actually distributed the mask to, this is one of it, This is in Singapore Expo. I think you all know that Singapore Expo is a holding place for the recurrent patient for the COVID. So right now there's two major one, which is still the Singapore Expo, and the other one is Big Box, the shopping center in Jurong. They has converted it into a recovery center for all the COVID patients. And surprisingly, there are a lot of things that they're short of, and I was requested to help them to raise funds to buy or to get donors to donate. So one of the things is actually still masks, and of course food and other stuff. These are the food distribution that I'm doing right now, this minute in the region. Because of the pandemic and the lockdown, many villages in the region, they have no food. Okay, this is one of the schools I built in Sabah for the stateless. I think many of you may not be aware that there are stateless people in Malaysia, but in Malaysia there's over 2 million. Just for information, that there are 2,000 homeless and stateless people. No, sorry, not homeless, stateless people in Singapore alone. You have to do the research to understand why they're stateless in Singapore. But this is in Sabah. These are the ethnic tribes from the Iban, from the Bugis, from the Zulu, from the Bajau, here tribes, which ancestors already settled in Malaysia, but wasn't given a chance to register as a citizen. They just become homeless. So this is what I'm helping right now, to build school for them, because they are not entitled to the normal education system provided to all Malaysians. These are the continuous, non-stop food distribution I'm having in the region. And it's because of the pandemic. Many of them are farming. Many of them are from the farming community. Many of them are from the farming community, but because there's a misconception that a lot of people think that farmers can grow their own food, no problem. It's not really true. A rice farmer is a rice farmer, a pepper farmer is a pepper farmer. And because of the lockdown, they are not able to sell the produce. They need to sell the produce to buy other things they need to survive. So that's why we actually was asked to help this group of people. And of course, there's many reasons why the government cannot help, but I'm not going to detail of whether it's corruption or whether it's logistic reason. That's why I was asked to help with the food distribution in many remote villages. Okay, now I want to talk, as I said, I'll make my talk very short because it's not really cancer related. I want to give more rooms and time to others to talk about the journey about cancer. So now I'll talk a bit about myself being a vegetarian. Okay, I started being a vegetarian about more than a decade ago. Okay. And being able to cook very well myself. And when I turned vegetarian, I find the vegetarian food a bit boring. That's why I decided to create my own recipes. And from the photograph, you can see that these are all vegetarian food, but you cannot find anywhere else except in my kitchen. So this is the chili crab. It tastes almost, you cannot tell there's no crab inside. So I'm actually coming out with a cookbook on what vegetarian should be. Why I started this is also because years ago when I became a vegetarian, a friend asked me, "Ben, do you eat vegetarian bihun every day?" I said, what do you mean? They said, because whenever they see a vegetarian store, they only see fried bihun. So I said, no, there's a lot of things you can eat. But being a non-vegetarian, they assume that vegetarians eat very boring food. So I'm trying to showcase to them that no, it's not boring. You can make it very exciting. So this, my cookbook, will be talking about how you can actually enrich your vegetarian life. So let me just finish the video. This is soup kambing without kambing, but it tastes 100% like the real stuff. Of course, the meat texture is different. This is a dumpling, but it looks like a roast. My version of Kentucky Fried Chicken is from mushroom. All these are plant-based food, and it not only looks good, it tastes good. Okay, been running a charity for so many years, and also helping many cancer patients to seek treatment in the region, or rather raise funds for them to seek treatment. I have met many dietitians, doctors who actually specialize in different areas of cancer, and most of them uh, told me that meat-based diet actually contribute to cancer. That's one reason why I was invited to this talk, because of myself being a full-time vegetarian for many years. So of course, I think most of you know that the alkaline and the acidic part of the food diet that we have that actually can reduce cancer or actually increase the cancer count. So basically, plant-based diet has a more alkalic condition that actually can control the growth of cancer. Personally, I feel that the body has a natural immune system to fight cancer if we have the right diet. And so because being a vegetarian, you actually produce a lot of chemical like things like chlorophyll from the plant-based to help you fight cancer, and of course vitamin C and those. So I believe that an inclusive uh, plant-based diet will help many cancer patients. Okay, I want to stop here and let the rest of the speaker continue. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben. Okay, I think everybody was drooling over your pictures, yeah? And hope you showed some more. Right. So Ben is working on his cookbook, and if it tastes as good as it looks, I definitely want to. And I think there's a question from one Kelly. Yes, Kelly asked a question. So it looks good. When are you inviting us to eat at your place? Yeah. Okay. Right.